Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really interesting comparison. Film photography versus digital. Our mission, to unpack the unique experiences, the distinct qualities of each, give you a shortcut to, well, really getting what makes them different. It's not just about the tech, it's about how they feel.
Exactly. And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how profoundly these two approaches shape the actual creative process. This isn't just, megapixels versus film stock.
Hmm.
It's really about understanding which one clicks, pardon the pun, with your own style and needs. They offer fundamentally different creative journeys.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so let's start with the classic film photography,
Yeah.
the analog experience. What are the sources saying are its, like, core characteristics?
Well, consistently, the sources praise film for its rich image capture. Very nuanced. We're talking about a broader dynamic range
Yeah.
quite often. So it tends to hold more detail in the really bright spots and the deep shadows. And there's an impressive color depth that, well, digital sometimes has to work harder to replicate naturally.
Right, that organic feel.
Yeah, and then you got that distinctive aesthetic, the film grain, which people love or hate. It's unique way of rendering color. And even those, occasional imperfections,
Yeah.
they actually add to this sort of nostalgic, almost, yeah, organic look.
And there's something about the limits, isn't there? The sources really highlight how having, say, only 24 or 36 shots per roll
Mhm.
actually encourages this very intentional way of shooting, more thoughtful composition. Every click really has to count.
That deliberateness, yeah, that's a major pull for a lot of artists. But it does raise an important question, doesn't it? Are those artistic benefits worth the, let's say, practical hurdles?
What are those main hurdles then?
Well, the sources are clear. Delayed results is a big one. Processing takes time. Now, for some, that builds anticipation, a different kind of connection to the final print or scan, totally unlike digital's immediacy.
Mm.
Then you have the ongoing costs. Film itself, developing,
Mhm.
it definitely adds up.
Right, it's not a one-time purchase.
Not at all. And flexibility is limited. Your ISO, your light sensitivity, it's fixed for that whole roll. And swapping film types mid-roll just isn't practical, really. You commit up front.
Okay, so you're locked into a certain look and feel from the get-go, a very different mindset. So how does digital stack up? The modern approach, what's its workflow like?
Digital, uh, by contrast, is big selling point is that immediate feedback. You see the shot instantly. That's massive for learning, for making quick adjustments. You learn faster, arguably. And after you buy the camera, the cost per shot is, well, basically zero. Storage is cheap.
Much more cost-effective over time.
Yeah. And the versatility is just incredible. You can switch color profiles, ISO settings, shooting modes, all on the fly. You can adapt to pretty much any situation instantly.
But surely there are downsides to all that convenience. It can't all be positives.
Oh, absolutely. One thing the sources mention is battery dependence. Digital cameras need power. So battery management becomes key, especially if you're out shooting for a long time or somewhere remote.
Ah, right. Need to carry spares.
Definitely. And there's the potential for what some call overshooting. It's so easy to just keep clicking, which ironically might lead to less careful composition sometimes, or just, mountains of photos to sort later.
That digital clutter, yeah.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, there's the issue of rapid obsolescence. Tech moves fast. Your digital camera might feel outdated much quicker than, say, a classic film camera, which, if you look after it, can work for decades. The longevity of a physical negative is also an interesting point, a different kind of archive.
Okay, so we've got these two distinct worlds. What does this all mean for you, the listener, trying to choose? Our sources seem to give some pretty clear pointers based on what you might prioritize.
Yeah, they do. If your main goal is learning photography, getting those fundamentals down,
Right.
digital's instant feedback is hard to beat. But if you're after a more, say, tactile, immersive artistic process, where the making is as important as the result, film often offers that more deeply.
And for practical needs?
Well, if convenience is king, fast-paced situations, quick turnaround needed, digital is the clear winner there. But if you're specifically aiming for that vintage vibe, that classic aesthetic, the unique grain and color only film gives, then film is probably your choice.
So it really boils down to the individual. Both mediums offer these unique, valid pathways for creating images. There's no single best answer, is there? It's personal. Depends on your creative ends, your practical situation, like picking the right paintbrush.
Exactly. So maybe the final thought for you to chew on is this. Beyond just the tech specs and the practical stuff we've talked about, consider not just what tool you pick up, but how that tool actually influences your way of seeing, your patience maybe, and ultimately the kind of story you want to tell with your pictures. Which approach really speaks to your inner artist? That's the question to explore.